So, first thing I want to talk about today is just a procedural type, saw it on a bunch of homework type things stuff, okay? And that is, you don't have to write this down, just know trust me, okay? Just know this. Let's say I am making the rule for a series, right? Okay? Or I'm writing the equation of a series. That's a sub n is equal to a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d, right? Now let's say that my d is negative, okay? I'll just make one up. We'll go 8, negative 1, negative 10, comma, and so on and so forth, right? So I'm subtracting 9 every time, right? When I go to make this rule, I start out by putting an 8 there because that's my first term. And then I got my n minus 1, right? And what's my d? Negative 9, right? And so a lot of people just wrote that. But what does that mean? Subtract 9. Okay? If you write it like that, from this day forward, I will mark it wrong. Okay? If you wanted to mean that be multiplying by negative 9, you have got to put that set of parentheses in there. Otherwise, mathematically, it means something totally different. Okay? And trust me, you'll see it when I hand back the homework from that time. Okay? It's on there a lot. I circled it a lot on people's papers. Okay? I didn't take off for it because I didn't tell you about it. I told you about it now. So starting today, I'm taking off for it. Okay? Alright? So what do you need? Or we'll even go back a step further. What kind of a problem is this?
A complicated problem. That's right.
It's what? It's a sum problem, right? Okay. So what do you need in order to find the sum?
The first term.
You need the first term. I don't remember what the order of the colors were from the other day. And then what else? You need the first term, the last term, and the total number of terms. Okay? How do we find those?
For A1, you plug in the 1 to the rule. You plug in the first term.
A1 is what I put on my steak.
A sub 1.
A sub 1, I put what in?
The 1 into the rule.
I put 1 into the rule. So 5 minus 5 times 1, right? What is 5 times 1? 5. 5 minus 5. 0. Yes? Okay, how do I find A sub n? I plug in my end into the rule, right? So 5 minus 5 times n is going to be 5 minus 5n. Okay, how do I find the total number of terms? Nope.
First term minus.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
wait, no. First.
No.
Oh, I'm trying.
No.
Well, we got to figure it out.
N over 2.
No. Look in your notes. It It's in there.
No, we have to guess. Yeah, get the game.
Right? Clearly. It's what? But how do I find it?
N minus I plus 1.
No.
Solve for it.
No. How do I find it? Look at your notes. Say it loud, dear. And minus start plus 1. Okay. No, it's not last term. The last term is 5 minus 5n. The end is n. It's not the same. But that's not what you were communicating. Okay? So this is end minus start plus 1. So that's n minus 1 plus 1 is n. Okay? Now, we said that this was a sum, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what's the sum formula? S sub n equals n over 2 times a sub 1 plus a sub n. Right? Do I know what this sum is equal to? What? Negative 50. Do I know what my number of terms is? N. Do I know what the first term is? Do I know what the last term is? 5 minus 5n. Right? So if I simplify that, that's going to become negative 50 is equal to n over 2 times the quantity 5 minus 5n. Do I like that fraction n over 2? So what can I do? Multiply both sides by 2. That gives me negative 100 is equal to n times the quantity 5 minus 5n.
How come the 5 minus 5n aren't new to the 2? So that's like, it still doesn't, if it just cancels something out, it doesn't multiply by anything else?
Mhm.
Okay.
Because it's all multiplication.
Okay.
Now what? Now I distribute. Now what? Make it equal to 0. Do I want everything on the left side or everything on the right side? Left side. I can take a 5 out. Then factor. Can I butt cheek it? Two numbers that multiply together to be negative 20 and add to be negative 1.
Negative 5 and positive 4.
Negative 5 and positive 4. Now what? How? So I say n minus 5 has to equal 0, so n equals 5. Or I say n plus 4 equals 0, so n's got to be negative 4. Right? What about the 5? 5 equals 0? Nope, can't do it. Could divide both sides by 5 too. And get rid of it that way also. Okay? So do I have two answers for this problem?
No, you need to plug them in.
Do I need to plug them in? I can't have a negative number of terms, right? Because what's n? N is my total number of terms. So I can't have a negative total number of terms, so that one gets kicked out. So the only answer that I have left is n is 5.
Are there possibilities where we end up with two positives?
No.
No.
I wouldn't have to do that.
But there's the 97.
Well, yeah, you're 97%.
No. You gotta have a negative d in order for it to happen.
I like the 2%.
Okay? Alright? So today we are going to be doing application problems, which is a fancy way of saying we're doing word problems. Okay? Alright? So there it is. Alright. So a field house has a section where the seating can be arranged so the first row has 3 seats, the second row has 7 seats, the third row has 11 seats, and so on and so forth. If there is sufficient space for 30 rows in the section, how many seats are in the last row of the section? Okay, got to read the problem first. Now, really, all you're going to do is you're going to read the problem and you're going to come up with some kind of a sequence from that problem. Okay? What's the sequence that is given to you in this problem? 3, 7, 11, right? Okay? So my sequence, is the first row has 3 seats. The second row has 7 seats. The third row has 11 seats. And so on. Right? What's the question asking? How many seats are in the last row? What formula do I want to use for that? A sub n equals A sub 1 plus n minus 1 times d. So now we need to figure out what some of those are, right? Go ahead, Joe.
I think I've got a rule.
Do I need the rule, though? Don't need it, because I got that, right? Okay, so what's my first term? 3. What's my n value? What is it? 30. Because I want to find the number of seats in the 30th row. What's my common difference? 4. Right? Okay. So how many seats are in the 30th row? 119. 30 minus 1 is 29. 29 times 4 is 116. Plus 3 gets me that there are 119 seats. Word problems have labels, right? We're finding values here. So there are 119 seats in the 30th row. Okay. Follow-up question to that. In that section, how many seats are there? Total. What's that kind of a problem? That's a sum problem. Okay, so you're going to have to decipher what's a sum problem and what's just a find the term problem. So what's the sum formula? N over 2 times
sub 1 plus a sub n.
Okay. Do I know my first term? What is it? Do I know my last term? What is it? 119. Do I know how many total rows there are in this section? There's 30. What? So 122 times 15. How much? 1,830. And that again is seats. Yep. Okay. I would like you to try this problem. Production line is improving its efficiency through training and experience. If the number of items produced in the first 4 days of the month are 13, 15, 17, 19 respectively, project the number of items produced on the 30th day of the month. Okay, well, my sequence is 13, 15, 17, 19, and so on and so forth, correct? Okay. So I want to figure out what's going on the 30th day of the month. So that's going to be this formula, right? What's my first term? 13. What's my total number of days? 30. What is my common difference? Plus 2. So A sub 30 is going to equal 71. Yeah. Total number of items produced for that month. Well, that's going to be the sum is the total number divided by 2, or the number of terms, I should say, divided by 2 times the first term plus the last term. So that's 30. My first term was 13. My last term was 71. So what's that? 15 times 84. So the sum of the first 30 terms is what? How much? 1260? Couple of things. I'm going to hand out a worksheet for you to do tonight for your homework. Okay? But on top of that, and that worksheet will be due on Monday. Side note, you have a quiz tomorrow in the MRC.
How many mods do you think I have?
One, maybe two. This is not formative. It is summative tomorrow. Okay? I am putting my trust in you that you will do it to your best ability with the resources that I have given you. What are the resources that I have given you? You get a note card. Okay? It will be in a folder like the formatives. Okay? You're going to take it like a formative, but it's going to count as a summative. Okay? What are the formulas that you should have on your note card for tomorrow? The sum formative, the term form, the rule formula, and then your sigma stuff. Okay? That should be the three things that you have on your note card now. Okay? Right? So that's tomorrow. You had 2 days off this week, so I think giving up 2 mods tomorrow is not that big of a deal. Okay? Alright? Worst case scenario, you can come in mods 19 through 21 tomorrow.